continuing on the conversation of tools, surprise, surprise, in the world, in an actuarial team, Excel is the preferred tool of choice, I think, across pretty much every aspect of the pricing function. And as someone who enjoys numbers, I appreciate the joy of playing around on a spreadsheet from time to time, and it's obviously hugely flexible. But what are some of your thoughts on, there are some processes for which Excel is a great tool and perfectly suitable, versus, what are some of those activities where you really need to be thinking about more robust capability, and where do you need to be watching or asking yourself, is this really the right way to be approaching this particular process or problem?
I mean, obviously Excel's come quite a long way over the years, and I guess a lot of the historical limitations maybe don't apply, but I think there are still some things that it's not great at. So I think using it to store data is clearly a bit problematic, because unless you build a lot of additional systems around it, it's a bit fragile as a data store. But I think even as an analytical tool, although it's kind of come a long way, I think as we start maybe looking at more exotic pricing factors or bigger data sets to drive pricing, Excel is really not going to be the optimal tool to do that. So thinking about how do you, as data volumes start to increase, there are much better tools out there for kind of storing and manipulating and accessing data. So I think that's one thing. Obviously, for bits of ad hoc analysis and kind of charting, Excel, just because of its ubiquity and kind of familiarity, it's kind of fine for use in those kind of cases. But there are probably things where you want it to be a bit more robust and systemized, where Excel maybe starts to have a few limitations.
I think perhaps we can describe Excel as the jack of all trades and master of none. So it's excellent for picking up one-off stuff, but that kind of leaves you to you almost sort of get drawn into doing more one-off bits, and I'll just do a bit of analysis on this, and then without really stopping and thinking, okay, is this the right metric? Is this actually of value? I'm still going to be interested in this in 6 months, and then actually doing the piece of work. And if you're doing that, then you probably want to think about how to do it more robustly. I think in a lot of the audit work that we do, a lot of the control issues and extra kind of work that needs to be done to get certainty over results manifests from use of Excel spreadsheets, where you need to do far more kind of control effort around it to make sure you're getting robust outputs. So I think you need to consider with Excel, is it doing something one-off, truly one-off, then perhaps it's okay for that. But otherwise, you probably want to think about how you're going to build it in a robust way that's going to actually be a smooth to run process going forwards.
I mean, my feelings about Excel, I agree with everything everybody said, right, about Excel. I agree it's super flexible. I agree it can be a nightmare to control and it's a source of errors. I think some of it is also around the mindset of the people using Excel. So some of it is we work in a, for people attracted to numbers, they're less attracted to writing things down or less attracted to documenting their controls. And I kind of think you have that problem whether you're going to do something in Excel or R or Python or some of this comes down to, I think everybody gets heebie-jeebies about Excel, but I think there's a point that actually, I think everybody needs to maybe raise the game around how they control, how they think about controls, how they think about risk.
I think he's right. There is a bit of, how do you bring in those controls? And yeah, people need to invest time to do that properly.